Character wants and beliefs are what drives a story. But what drives your character's wants and beliefs? I feel Batman Ego answers that question best. It opens up with Batman talking about how his commitment to the city is beginning to crush him. The Joker, rape, typical shit in Gotham, you know how it be. All of this is compounding together in his psyche, and it's beginning to crush him. And he tries to quit. This is where we delve into why Bruce Wayne believes what he does, and who he really is as a character deep down. What his internal conflicts are, what his struggles are, and this all comes from his character's psychology, which, by the way, is what we're talking about today. He sees a cloudy figure of Batman, calling him a coward, pretty much saying, "Oh, you're gonna quit on me? I don't think so, bro. You don't quit me. You're never done with me." And of course, the biggest influencing factor to Batman's psychology is his wound. What is a character wound? It's essentially an event or circumstance that made the character the way they are. So, Batman's parents getting shot in the alley, as you all know, is what made him become Batman. That is Batman's character wound. And that is the first part of character psychology that honestly is a pretty easy way to influence your character. Giving them a wound actually makes it a lot easier. You don't have to, but it's a good strategy. But bad wounds don't have to be the only thing that influences a character. You can also have good wounds. A good wound example for Bruce Wayne is on Christmas time when he got a Zorro figure. This is when the Batman ego started formulating. So honestly, the first thing you might want to do, and I know you might want to build your characters organically, I do the same thing, and that's fine. You can either write out your character first in whatever story they're in, or you can build out their backstory beforehand in a little outline, maybe do some bullet points and say, what are your character's good wounds? What are their bad wounds? What have they been through in the past? And that'll help influence your character's decisions moving forward. And obviously it'll influence their beliefs. When you think about it, most of your beliefs are probably formulated by your experience of life in one way or another. And this is why Batman Ego is one of my favorite comics, because it really does create an amazing internal conflict with Bruce Wayne and Batman. You see, the Batman ego wants to be vengeance, wants to be fear, wants to be brutality, and even suggests killing the Joker. But Bruce Wayne is more so the healer, because his father was a healer. Once again, linking back to backstory. Backstory heavily influences character psychology, just like it heavily influences your psychology or any person's psychology. So, like I said, you can always write character backstory later or write it first. Whatever works best for you, but I think it needs to be there whether the audience knows about it or not. And the rabbit hole goes way deeper than this. I mean, psychology is its own giant rabbit hole. But one of the most important other things when it comes to character psychology is the angel on the shoulder and the devil on the shoulder. For Batman, Batman is kind of his devil on his shoulder. But the devil doesn't always do bad, right? This devil on his shoulder makes him stronger. It gives him will. That's what caused him to train. That's what makes him able to deal with all of these atrocities that all these criminals commit. And then the Bruce Wayne side of him is the angel on his shoulder, telling him to be a healer, not to be like the criminals, telling him to be a philanthropist, So there's a spectrum. Right? There's a spectrum on whatever character you're making. If it's a villain, they'll probably listen to the devil 100%. If it's a pure hero like Superman, then they'll probably listen to the angel 100%. Batman's a little closer to the middle, so that makes it pretty interesting. In my book Grandpa, the main character Divinius listens more to the devil on his shoulder. The devil being his ambitions, his greed, his lust for power, all of that stuff, right? And if you want to hear more about that, then click the link below and you'll get all the info you need. To summarize the two biggest things we talked about today, in case you forgot already, number one, character backstory. This will influence the character beliefs, internal conflict, and the way they react to situations. If your character was an experienced gunfighter in the past, they probably wouldn't crack under the pressure of a gunfight. Right? Okay, and number two is the angel and the demon. You got to think about what they're saying to the character at all times. This will heavily add depth to your character's internal conflict. That's all I got for you today. Now get back to reading and writing.